Perhaps you can also weigh in on the directives they've been given, police have been given with regard to the discharge of their firearms. You hear statements such as, daring the government, we have had you, you know, and even the Nairobi governor saying, Vijana, you know, like, this is your last warning. Otherwise, what befalls you we will not be held responsible for it. What do you make of that kind of tone?
Well, first of all, I'm encouraged that our Minister of Interior and Security is a professor of law, someone who I'm sure would respect our constitution, our rules and laws, and therefore I feel that now the police have got a very good oversight person and a boss who would be very careful about that. And I think it is important to see that we need changes in our in how our police does its work, in the sense that every citizen concern is safety and security. We are all allies of the police. But from what is happening, the police has failed in that responsibility. The police now is in the public's court, the public tribunal. They have been judged by the public. And what is lacking here is a police force that is not constantly using disproportionate force in dealing with the issues of crime. Lethal force, the gun. The gun is, many societies are managed without disproportionate use of force by the police. We want equal justice. We want to build trust between the police and the public so that, in fact, the work of fighting crime and controlling crime becomes the work of every citizen. And that requires a major change in the mindset of our police force. It simply doesn't mean that you have to carry a gun and shoot someone. You need to develop, as I said earlier, strategies and methods that would be able to change the way we work with the police. After all, not every Kenyan or every Nairobian is a criminal. 99% of the people of Nairobi are law-abiding, peaceful citizens. It's a very small percentage. Now, how do you isolate that percentage? The police knows who these criminals are. They interact with them. Some members of the police are partners in crime, as we have had. So the police really needs to change its way of doing things. The way I can hear, and I now have a lot of respect for the new Inspector General of Police. He's someone I know, a career dedicated police officer. They just need to switch that mindset a little bit from the use of force to engaging with the public, discussing with the Kenyan society how to deal with those in Nairobi, and eliminating and isolating the few people who are making our life difficult. But if the police overstretched itself, they start profiling whole communities, whole neighborhoods. They start using the gun again to eliminate and carry out extrajudicial killings. Then obviously they're going to lose the game, as they have done. What the current government has done, and I want to compliment the president, he has pulled the police back from that illegality and lawfulness and said, look guys, review the way you do things. We're not going to do the way the way you were doing before. And instead of finding ways of how to do that, they have simply vacated the space for criminal elements. And that's why we're seeing a high number of, in terms of reporting, rising crime cases. The key element here is to switch from the previous mode and into a new mode, which would be engaging with the public, creating trust, developing strategies with the local populations, focusing on where the problems are rather than spreading themselves all over and profiling huge communities, and dealing with many of these problems through constitutional means. Take the criminals to court, lock them up, increase the penalties, take them off the streets. But you cannot use the gun to eliminate every gang that comes up. In other words, you would be operating unlawfully and in a criminal way, just as the criminal elements are operating. So we need a change. The second